Chicagoland Speedway, third race in a year now for this track. Big wreck in turns 3 and 4 involving several cars. Mike Wallace among them. Mike, first of all to you, are you all right?
Yeah, okay, just took a hard hit and doing fine. Just a shame for the USG Pontiac. We were kind of having a rough day, but just kind of going along there, and here's a couple cars got together in front of us, and one went to the inside of the racetrack, then caught and come back, and I got caught in the left rear or something, turned us around, and then I'm not sure what happened when I realized everything was up. Bobby was on fire, and I was facing the other way, so shame for everybody behind us, and everybody got involved in it, but looks like Bobby's okay, so we'll get him again.
We're glad you're all right. Bobby, you had a lot of fire in that car. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. We had a bad break there. We, had a pit thing happen where we had to come back in, lost the lap, and we got going pretty fast, and, it looked like somebody got in the 10 car, and he got down low and spun to the inside, and, it's just one of those things there. Everybody's bunched up after a restart, and came back, and it looked like he clipped me in the left rear, I guess. I don't know. It was pretty close. I thought I had it made. Backed in the fence, and then we got this problem with the fuel cell blowing up again, and that's always makes for a bad scene for everybody. And just want to tell everybody home of mine, it looked worse than what it was, and just a bad ending for our Interstate Battery Chevrolet that was pretty fast for a long time.
We're back to green, Bobby, but tell us your emotions as you pounded the ground.
I was just frustrated, the fire's one thing, but frustrated we got out of the race. We had to, we battled back there, and we came back to 13th there, racing under green. So just aggravating that it had to happen, and you hate to see, all the safety stuff in the car worked great. Man, I feel fine. Smell like a barbecue pit, but other than that, I feel okay.
All right, Alan, back to you.
I'm glad he can keep a sense of humor after a crash like that. Very glad both drivers okay. Now we've got us a great race shaping up now with 43 laps to go. The top 4 quickly cleared the lap traffic on the restart, and even back in traffic, they're shuffling spots up a great deal. Ryan Newman leads, Michael Waltrip second, Kevin Harvick third, Jimmy Johnson fourth. They've cleared the traffic
for second.
There you go. So Happy is up to the runner-up spot.
A little happier.
Is a little happier.
Now we'll see. Can he catch Newman? I thought that Jimmy Johnson might be the fastest of these top 3 cars, but catching somebody and past him is going to be an entirely different situation. Tony Stewart 30-40 laps ago was quicker than anybody, but Stewart is now back in 6th spot. I'm not sure he can fight his way back to the front in 40 laps or so.
This has been another one of those races, if you just joined us, where the different pit stop schedules and strategies have kept this thing tumbling back and forth and up and down all afternoon long. Kevin Harvick was out on track for some time, not having stopped. Then he got shuffled back in traffic. Then he didn't stop at 58 to go, along with Newman and Michael Waltrip. Now he's back up front in position to win. It's been all about track position today and making the right calls at the right time.
And being a little bit lucky.
Napa Field summary. Stories on the day today. We've had 6 caution flags, most notable among them the crash at lap 209 that took out Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the crash you just saw at lap 215 that took out Bobby Labonte, 2 of the top 4 in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. Tony Stewart has led the most laps so far today. Other race leaders, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, all for multiple laps, and then Michael Waltrip and Jamie McMurray for 1 apiece during an exchange of pit stops.
See Rusty Wallace, they've changed the transmission in the 2-car back on the racetrack, and Kevin Harvick getting closer and closer to Ryan Newman. 0.4 of a second. This time he goes by
0.2 faster that lap.
It's down to less than 0.3 of a second.
Kevin Harvick, winner of the 2001 inaugural Winston Cup race here at Chicagoland Speedway, winner again last year in 2002.
Wouldn't that be something if they run your 3 years and he'd be the only guy to ever win?
No driver has ever won the first 3 races at a Winston Cup racetrack. I can tell you a few people that did too. Before we do that, let's check on our leader with Matt.
Ryan Newman felt like last year he let one race here get away. He started on the pole and then finished 5th. Right now, a very fast race car, but needs clean air. When the 2-car, his teammate Rusty Wallace was in front, he jumped on the radio and said, "Someone tell Rusty to get out of my way. I need all the clean air I can get." To Bill.
Busy day on the track for the 12 team, but on Friday, NASCAR found this on their car. It's a washer that they had modified that helps hold the tethers that maintain the hood on the front of the car. NASCAR did testing this week at their R&D center in North Carolina after Robbie Gordon lost the hood of his car last week at Daytona. They basically were thinking about adding something like this, then inspectors found it on the 12 car. The 12 team gave it to Mike Helton. This week, John Darby told me they will be testing this at their R&D center. It was discovered or invented, basically made in the Penske shops on a machine by a gentleman named Dave Littell. It could be something every car has to help secure the hood in the future. Marty?
On the radio, Bill, Kevin Harvick's team has told him you're catching Ryan Newman a tenth of a lap. The thing that Kevin Harvick wants to try out is victory lane here at Chicago. Again, going for his third straight win here. When they tested here, they came up with a completely different setup. But as the weekend went along, they're on the same exact setup that won this race last year, and they are catching the 12 car.
They're a little bit faster than the 12 car, but as he gets closer, I think he's going to find it's going to be more difficult because he starts getting that air off the 12 car. He's going to stop getting that full downforce. He's going to pick up that aero push, and passing is going to become very difficult.
Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, and A.J. Foyt are the drivers that have won 2 Winston Cup venue. Harvick would be the first if he can pull it off today. Great run for Michael Waltrip and company.
Terrific run for Mikey and Slugger Lab in that crew.
Started 12th today. Did not pit with 58 to go, along with Jeff Burton and Harvick and Ryan Newman. And Michael Waltrip 5th in the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship coming in. Having a very solid day, and look at, oh, trouble, turn 1. Casey Mears into the wall. Caution is out with 34 to go. Casey Mears was running 14th.
And Johnson just barely beats Michael Waltrip back to the line to take over 3rd spot.
And the field will slow for a 7th time today, and Michael is expressing some displeasure to Jimmy Johnson.
But you know what? That's a good move on Jimmy's part, because as hard as it is on these restarts, as far as you can get up on the outside line, the better you are.
Here we can see Michael again, voicing his displeasure with his hands.
You, sir, are not a gentleman.
The gentleman move right there by the 48.
The gentleman's agreement, something that's been much discussed since Robbie Gordon's pass on Kevin Harvick, coming back to a caution flag at the Sonoma road course race a couple of weeks ago.
Here we come, back to the caution flag, and it's
Jimmy Johnson
by 5 or 6 feet. Enough to take over 2nd spot. Huh?
Yes.
If there's not a rule, man, race back to the yellow. You can get the spot, get the spot.
Anybody going to pit here?
I'm sorry, that was a battle for 3rd spot because Kevin Harvick is still in 2nd. Yes, somebody's going to pit. It's Jamie McMurray, 42, gives up the 6th spot. Jeremy Mayfield gives up 8th. Bill, coming to you.
And the 42 car had just gotten so tight, they're going to come on in, put on 1 lap scuffs, just top off with fuel. They don't really need it, but they'll do it for balance on the race car. 4 tires, 1 lap scuff, fuel, and Jamie McMurray will head back out.
Elliott Sadler, Jeremy Mayfield, Bill Elliott, other lead lap cars making pit stops here under this caution. Cleanup continues down inside turns 1 and 2, where Casey Mears came to rest after a crash. You're riding with the leader, Ryan Newman, out in front with 32 to go.
You look down at the Chicagoland Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois on a sunny Sunday afternoon. 236 laps are complete in the Tropicana 400, about to complete 237 under the caution here. And closing in on a finish at lap 267. Some very unusual things happening here today. Let's take you down on pit road and get you the update, starting with Matt.
Ryan Newman holding station at the front, trying to hold off Kevin Harvick. What's your man saying about his car, Matt?
He's pretty happy. He likes it out front. Mike Nelson did a great job with our fuel mileage there and got us the position. And hopefully we can stay up front there and maybe win this thing.
His car just a tick on the tight side. He needs that fresh air, Marty.
Kevin Harvick was catching Ryan Newman. Todd, can your car, is this caution to your advantage, I guess?
I don't
don't know if it's an advantage or not, but Kevin Harvick at Chicago is an advantage, of course. So, you know, either way it plays out here, I think we got a car good enough to win this race. So, caution or not, we'll just have to see how it plays out. Still time left.
Kevin's been talking about something smoking in the car. Is that of concern to you?
No, it's no concern. He's just talking about maybe some new paint or something. It's been kind of smoking all day. He's been smelling it, but he's been doing a great job at a Goodrich Monte Carlo, and no matter how it ends out, it's been a good day.
Dave?
Marty, I'm with the crew chief for Gentleman Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus. Chad, you know, Michael Waltrip expressed some displeasure about racing him back. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, I hate to race like that, but we've had it done to us so many times this year. And with only 30-some laps to go, we have to do it. You know, the leaders are racing back like that. If there had been somebody right behind us, they'd have been racing us back also. And that's just, it's the way the sport is developed, because every position is so important, especially with the points and everything the way they are. But, you know, the Lowe Chevrolet is running great. We started dead last on the field, worked our way up to the top 5 by midway, and, you know, we're right there. So it's pretty exciting. We'll just see what happens with the Lowe Chevrolet today. I'd like to say happy birthday to BP up there in the booth, and, you know, happy birthday to Mr. Hendrick. It was his birthday yesterday.
We'll let them both know. Bill Weber?
With Slugger Labby, crew chief for Michael Waltrip. You told me this morning 11 changes after a happy hour. Right now, you're 4th. Can you pull it off?
Well, we hope so. You know, them 2 cars in the front are definitely strong, but we were horrible yesterday in the happy hour. Made a bunch of changes and got good fuel mileage. We're a little tight. We needed to pit on lap 207, but track position is so important, we decided to stay out. So Napa Chevrolet's doing okay. We get out here with top 5 and be happy.
And your driver lost a spot coming back to the caution there. You weren't too pleased with that.
Yeah, but we'll let them worry about it on the racetrack.
Alan?
Jimmy Johnson had this to say about the race back to the caution flag on his radio a moment ago.
Well, that 15 spotter, it happened to me about 15 times, and it's the way the game is played, I guess. I know I'm expecting one. Sure, buddy, don't worry about it. Shrug that off. I mean, I don't feel bad for doing it.
That's right, you shouldn't. Because every spot is tough right now, and get it while you can.
There'll be 28 laps to go when the green flag waves here. We're within the final 50 miles. Ryan Newman leads. Kevin Harvick is 2nd. Jimmy Johnson is 3rd. Michael Waltrip now 4th. Tony Stewart 5th. 12 cars on the lead lap. The first one of those who stopped and took tires under this caution, Elliott Sadler in 9th.
Green flag, green, green, green.
And Mark Martin on the bottom of the racetrack has been a pretty good car, but
Robbie Gordon jumped out in that high line. Going to pick up a spot or 2.
And Matt Kenseth dives on the inside of Martin. Martin takes a spot away.
Wow. That's to be the first car 1 lap down. Kenseth taking over 13th position there.
Jimmy Johnson trying to drive on the inside of Mark Martin. He does.
Yeah, he can't afford right now to get held up on these cars that are lapped down.
And he can't waste any time. So Newman being stalked by Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson now separated from them by 9/10 of a second after just the 1 lap of messing around with the lap cars. Both of these cars out in front you're looking at, the Newman car and the Harvick car, pitted with 69 laps to go, did not stop when the other front runners did at 58 to go. Jimmy Johnson stopping at 58 to go. So he's got fresher tires, but not by much.
Marginal. And these tires have proven that they run just about as good on 40, 50 laps as they do new.
Matt lay over, let the 48 car go. So that was a gentleman move, since Matt's a lap down.
So now we have no cars between the top 3 of Newman, Harvick, and Johnson.
But again, Jimmy's lost even more time. Now he's another half-second behind than he was 2 laps ago.
And that time off turn 2, Harvick, we saw his car pick up that push off turn 2. Could not close up on the 12.
He's going to try to have to stay out of the 12's air. Wherever the 12 runs, he's going to have to move either a half a lane up or a half a lane down to try to avoid that.
Fourth place here, Tony Stewart trying to take it away from Michael Waltrip. And he's going to get it done.
Tony Stewart in this 20 car is very, very fast, but I don't know if he can make up this 3 seconds he's behind in the next few laps. Matt?
Tony needs some long runs here, Benny. Under that caution, he was talking to Greg Zipadelli, and he said, you know, I feel like we've got a car. It's not perfect by any means, but I feel like we can still win this race. Just don't get down on me, guys. I think we can still win. Zippy said, we didn't think anything other than that. And then Tony said, by the way, how long before those guys up front are going to have to pit? And Zippy says, they can go the distance. He said, oh.
Well, okay.